and 2 assists.
Spurs win! Spurs win! Spurs win! Spurs win! Great win over the Boston Celtics tonight. 96-88. This is Spurs React on Spurs Radio 1200 WOAI. I'm Chris Duel along with Michael Bartlett. Let's listen into some Bill Schoening on postgame, shall we?
For Ashley Ennis-Kanter, 5 for Jabari Parker, and 5 for Neesmith, 3 for Romeo Langford. For the Spurs, 29 points and 11 rebounds for DeJounte Murray. That matches his career high for points. 17 points for Derek White, who hit a critical shot in this ballgame. In fact, it was Derek White who hit the shot that gave the Spurs the lead at 89-88, part of that 15-0 run as the Spurs flipped the score late in the game. Jakob Poeltl, 3 of 6 from the field. He only had 7 points, but he did have 12 rebounds and 3 block shots.
Spurs win!
Jalen Johnson, 17 points and 14 rebounds tonight, and a very efficient 7 for 12 from the floor. Katie Bates-Diop played
Ophelin, welcome.
1 of 3 from the field, 2 points and 3 boards.
Philip,
off the bench,
Robert,
10 points
Melissa,
Lonnie Walker. He was 4 of 8
Rubiana,
from just 1 of 7 tonight.
Woo!
And he missed all 5 of his threes.
Spurs are back.
He had 1 rebound in 7 minutes. 12 points for Trey Jones.
DeJounte Murray looking like Kobe late in that game tonight.
He was quite efficient, 5 of 6 from
I'm
the field.
just saying.
And just under 18 minutes for Trey Jones. You heard
Joanne, you better be positive tonight.
Thaddeus Young played 6 minutes, didn't score.
I'm just saying.
The rookie Josh Primo got in for about 4.5 minutes.
Whoa!
For 1 from the field. Spurs bench out.
Whoa!
Boston bench 24-23. The Spurs will close out the 4-game homestand Monday night, as they will take on the Washington Wizards. Will be on the air at 7 o'clock.
Spurs win!
Radio game night, and the game will tip a little bit after 7:30. Again, the final 96-88 Spurs with the win over the Boston Celtics.
That's what I'm talking about.
You don't
Whoa!
to happen, but have you thought about planning for one?
Jorge says, go Spurs, go. Thank you very much. Philip Ramos Longoria says, be positive. Mary Anthony, the Spurs good luck charm. Mary Anthony in the house on Spurs React. Welcome, Nicole. Nicole says, go Spurs, go. If I can share this video on Facebook.
If you love HEB,
that would be beautiful.
But don't always have the time for shopping at
Brian Birdie. Brian, I saw the Facebook photo. You were at the game with your dad, man. That's so cool. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. A day late. I would have wished you happy Thanksgiving yesterday, but there was no Spurs game.
Download the My HEB app today and start shopping
Share
at HEB,
that.
where curbside is always free. Online prices may vary from ad and store. See HEB.com for details.
At BMW,
Rick says, I'm more excited than you, Chris. That's saying something. Whoa! 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 Tony Jasso, welcome in. Tony's going to the game on Monday. Good man, Tony. Joanne, it's possible. We said they would learn how to close games eventually. This is a step in that direction. Lower the feed there a little bit. This is a step in that direction. So that's a beautiful thing. We're still in post game with Bill. Check with Michael if Bill has one more segment. I think he does.
When it comes to home, auto,
Bill has one more segment, right?
No better combination to have.
No, this is me?
No, this is you. He's done.
Oh, thank you.
Let them show you why Germania's hustles.
It's even better.
Insurance,
And get right into React, baby. Mariana Garcia, DeJounte on fire. Totally agree. Totally agree. Here we go.
Works the dribble on him, pulls up in the lane, leans in, shot off the rim, is hanging and falls through. For DeJounte Murray, timeout, Ime Udoka. 27 points for DeJounte Murray. A 10-0 run for the Spurs. Now they get 91-88.
DeJounte Murray on fire in crunch time, and the Spurs close the game with a 15-0 run, and they defeat the Boston Celtics 96-88 from the Spurs Net Center. I'm Chris Duel. Programming note on the flagship station, Spurs Radio 1200 WOAI. Join me and Michael Bartlett for Spurs React. We are streaming that live on 1200 WOAI's Facebook page and Twitter account at 1200 WOAI. So no matter where you are on the Spurs Radio Network, you can participate in Spurs React. Let's check some scores from around the NBA. There were 11 games today and tonight in the NBA. Still in progress in Denver. 4:07 to go in regulation. Milwaukee Bucks lead the Nuggets 109-89. Late fourth quarter in Utah, Salt Lake City. Pelicans leading the Utah Jazz 93-89 with 2:55 to go in regulation there. Halftime in San Francisco, Golden State Warriors lead the Portland Trail Blazers 58-44. Early second quarter in Los Angeles, Lakers over the Kings 26-22. Final scores from earlier. Clippers beat the Pistons 107-96. Hornets beat the Timberwolves 133-115. It was the Suns over the Knicks 118-97. Bulls beat the Magic 123-88. Pacers over the Raptors 114-97. A horrible scene in Memphis earlier tonight as their superstar Ja Morant had to be helped off the court, could not put any pressure on his left leg. He has since tweeted out, it is in God's hands now. All we can do is pray. A tweet tonight from Ja Morant as he is awaiting an MRI and an understanding on what happened to his leg or his knee earlier tonight. Hawks went on to beat the Grizzlies 132-100. Wizards over the Thunder 101-99. Once again, programming note on the flagship station, Spurs Radio 1200 WOAI. Our Spurs React is moments away with Michael Bartlett and myself, and it is across the Spurs Radio Network on Facebook, on 1200 WOAI's Facebook page, and on the 1200 WOAI Twitter page. After a quick wrap-up from Bill Schoening at the AT&T Center, where the Spurs snap their 6-game losing streak. They win a big one tonight over the Boston Celtics, 96-88. Spurs Radio continues in a moment.
At AT&T,
Woo!
new and existing customers
Woo!
get best deals on every
Spurs
phone.
win!
Why? Because you
Spurs
deserve it.
win!
Turning your living room into your office and your gym. We're teaching grandma how to video.
John Williams from Dallas.
It's the button on your left, Anna. Okay, you're
John Williams from Dallas sending me a message in the fourth quarter saying Spurs are winless in the Fiesta. Come on! Saying the Spurs are winless in the Fiesta jerseys? Come on, John Williams. Ye of little faith. Taro Kotani, the greatest international Spurs fan. Taro Kotani joining us tonight from Tokyo, Japan, where it is daytime in Tokyo. Thank you. James Hernandez, welcome in. Andy Ibarra said that game was nasty at the end, but a great finish with DJ, KJ, and TJ. Tracy Bogert is in here. Hello, Tracy Bogert. Tracy is one of the peeps, along with Taro and some others who joined me on Ticket 760, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m. We talk a lot of Spurs, and every Wednesday at 8:35, we have the voice of the San Antonio Spurs, Bill Schoening. Axel J. Miller from Denver tonight. He joins us in the mornings on Ticket 760 as we push out a live video feed like this one here. Shannon Salty Sweeney, my co-host. Here's Bill rapping. Bill Schoening.
Celtics 88. The senior director of broadcasting is Mike Kinderillo. Liz Canonis and Leah Resendez handle commercial traffic. Our broadcast engineer, Sam Walters. Our statistician, Walter Stoops. Next game for the Spurs coming up Monday night against the Washington Wizards. That game will start at 7:30.
Yes!
We'll be on the air at 7 o'clock. Spurs Radio Game Night.
Spurs are
Now,
back.
Our studio producer, Mike Bartlett. Our studio host, Chris Duel. This is Bill Schoening. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Woo!
Score. Spurs 9,
Woo!
Celtics 88.
Woo!
Presentation of Spurs Sports and Entertainment and the National Basketball
Spurs win!
All rights reserved. Good night, everybody.
Spurs Radio Game Night.
That's what I'm talking about. Jorge Chapa, what is up?
AT&T.
Xavier Valero, welcome. Says a great win. Jason Paniagua. Jason Paniagua joining us on YouTube. Jason, like Tracy Bogert and some of the other people I mentioned, join us in the morning on my show. You are invited 6 to 9 a.m. on Ticket 760. Joanne, I am very excited because I knew this was coming. This young Spurs team has been so close in so many games. And this one was Spurs were up, I think, by about 24. In fact, let me do some math here. It was 40-14. So that's 26. With 10:01 to play in the second quarter, the Spurs were up by 26 points. So, my goodness, this would have hurt. Celtics came all the way back. Celtics were up by 5, 86-81, with about 4 minutes to play. No, actually, with about 3 minutes to play. Here's my notes on all the scoring. See, I'm very, very, neat and tidy with all my notes. Here we go.
Spurs Radio 12.
Whoa! Spurs win!
Murray's going to take it inside on Schroeder. Turn on jumper. The lane is good for DeJounte Murray. He's got 29. And the Spurs lead 93-88 with 12.7 seconds remaining. The Spurs on a 12-0 run. Timeout, Ime Udoka.
DeJounte Murray taking over in crunch time. And even Bill Schoening talked about it in postgame. A lot of Spurs fans are saying, well, who's our closer? Who are we going to go to in crunch time when we need a basket? Well, tonight it was DeJounte Murray. And this might be a vision of things to come as the Spurs close out this game with a 15-0 run. They defeat the Boston Celtics tonight, 96-88 at the AT&T Center. Spurs snap a 6-game losing streak. They are back on the winning track, and they'll try to put back-to-back wins together on Monday night as they host the Washington Wizards. Welcome in. This is Spurs React on Spurs Radio 1200 WOAI as we stream live video on 1200 WOAI's Facebook page and Twitter page. We are international. Ofa Lin, huge Spurs fan in Singapore, is joining us live from Singapore. Taro Kotani, the greatest international Spurs fan, who has traveled 16 times from his home in Tokyo, Japan, to see the Spurs play at the AT&T Center. He's joining us in Tokyo this evening. It's actually daytime in Tokyo. It's evening in San Antonio. So you're invited to join us on Facebook Live on the live video feed. There's a YouTube. There's you can go by Twitter, and you're not only interacting with Michael Bartlett and me, you're interacting with other Spurs fans from around the world in real time. It is absolutely amazing. Once again, the final score, Spurs beat the Boston Celtics 96-88. And I don't want to say it was a coming out party for DeJounte Murray because, he's been out front and center for a long time as a great player in the NBA, but he took over. And you may think this is blasphemy, but I remember thinking to myself, in fact, and I'll ask Michael Bartlett about this. I was watching DeJounte Murray take over this game in the final minutes of the fourth quarter, and I had a few Kobe Bryant flashbacks. It looked like what Kobe used to do with the Lakers when he just took over and he said, hey, I'm the man. This is my team. I'm going to take care of business. I had some flashbacks tonight during the final minutes in that fourth quarter. Let me tell you how you can be a part of the show. 210-737-1200. If you're anywhere in the San Antonio area, if you're outside San Antonio, we pay for the call as well. 800-383-WOAI. That's 800-383-9624. Let me give you DeJounte's numbers for tonight, and we may now have a closer. 29 points, 11 rebounds, a double-double, 6 assists. DeJounte Murray was an absolute beast, closer, a leader of this team in the waning moments. Now, obviously, DeJounte Murray did not do it alone tonight. There were a lot of Spurs who were outstanding tonight and should be celebrated. Before I go to the phone lines, and I see Veronica, Joe, Morgan, looks like Christopher is with us as well. Let me just give you some numbers, some Spurs in double figures. I mentioned DeJounte, 29 points, 11 rebounds, a double-double. You had 17 for Derek White, and to go with 7 assists and 8 rebounds. Derek White was huge. Keldon Johnson with a monster slam late in the first half and just a great game. Keldon Johnson, 7 of 12 from the field overall. He had 17 points and 14 rebounds for Keldon Johnson. I didn't even realize he had so many rebounds. A double-double for Keldon Johnson. Other Spurs in double figures off the bench with 12 points and a plus-minus in the a plus 17, in the plus-minus. Trey Jones was phenomenal coming off the bench with his 12 points and the plus 17 in the plus-minus. And a 10 points, another double-figure performance for Lonnie Walker coming off the bench. You add it all up, and the Spurs defeat the Boston Celtics tonight, 96-88. They snap their 6-game losing streak. And finally tonight, we've talked about this. In so many games, this young Spurs team has been in the game throughout the game, has played hard for 4 quarters, and somehow was unable to close and let it get away. Not tonight. The Celtics came back. They were down by 26 points, 40-14 early in the second quarter. They came all the way back to take the lead late in the fourth quarter, and the Spurs would not say die. They found a way to come back and win this game and go on that 15-0 run to close out the game and win it 96-88. Let's grab some phone calls, then we'll go to Michael Bartlett. And again, we're streaming live video on 1200 WOAI's Facebook and Twitter pages if you want to join us there as well. I know Michael Bartlett's adoring fans are there right now, just getting ready for his words of wisdom coming up. To the phone lines we go, and Veronica, you're on Spurs React on 1200 WOAI. Welcome, Veronica.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Michael. I hope your situation's getting better, Michael. Well, this is a very post-Thanksgiving thing to be thankful for, that we broke
Bottom of the hour.
losing streak and we beat.
Bottom.
I was very happy about that.
Sure, I want to make sure we get to you, though.
We took off
So let me rattle through these calls.
quarters, and we had such a big lead. I was like, we can't lose this. And then when we did, I was like, uh-oh. But, like you said, DJ came back and, brought us
Leland,
up.
David, Jason, Axel.
To Trey Jones. He had a great game tonight. I'd like to see a lot more of him on the court. And I know he's only getting a chance because McDermott and Vassell are out, but just imagine all 3 of them. Anyway, go Spurs, go.
Go Spurs, go. Veronica, we love your phone calls. We love your passion. Veronica goes to so many Spurs games. And as upbeat as Veronica is right now, she was that upbeat during some tough losses earlier this season. She is a true Spurs fan. Back to the phone lines. And Joe, you are on Spurs React after the big win over Boston tonight, 96-88. Go ahead, Joe.
Hey, thanks, Chris, for having me on. This goes out to Ime Udoka and Will Hardy and the Celtics. Put that coffee down. Coffee is for closers only. Chris, I want to say that DeJounte Murray, I hope he becomes an all-star and voted most improved player. And Trey Jones, he stepped up. Vassell's out right now.
Spurs win.
Up, getting some minutes and some good
Spurs
plays.
win.
Go Spurs go. Thanks.
Joe, I love that phone call. Go Spurs go. You brought a lot in that phone call, and I am totally with you and DeJounte Murray. Gosh, I want to go back and just watch this game again, and I will. Just that fourth quarter 15-0 run by the Spurs, phenomenal. Back to the phone line. Spurs beat the Boston Celtics 96-88. Let's go to Morgan. Morgan, thank you for waiting. You're on Spurs React on 1200 WOAI. Go ahead, Morgan.
Yeah, I applaud the effort for the Spurs to sticking together, and for this, I like Trey Jones and Lonnie Walker starting to find a shot, and with Vassell being out, you'll see more Trey Jones. And William Forbes, I still believe in him, and he has a shot to go in tonight. I believe in him that he's going to get more threes to go in.
Morgan, thank you for the phone call. And Morgan makes a great point. Devin Vassell out tonight, as was Doug McDermott. Spurs needed some perimeter shooting to hang with the Boston Celtics, and they got it tonight. Devin has been playing so well with him out of the lineup tonight, and Doug McDermott's great as well for the Spurs this season. that was a tall order, and the Spurs find a way to win. Before we go to Michael Bartlett, let me grab one more phone call. That'll be Chris. I like that name. Chris, you are on Spurs React on 1200 WOAI. Go ahead, Chris. Chris!
You doing, baby? Yes.
I always do better after a Spurs win. So does Michael. So, yeah.
Oh, my God. So do I. But let me ask you this, Chris. Why is it every time the Spurs get a 20-point lead, I nearly have a heart attack? For a safe lead. You know what I'm saying? And I just had Thanksgiving dinner. I had the tamales, the turkey, the ham. And oh, my God, my heart's already pumping with all this cholesterol. I can't take it. I tell you, the Spurs, they did well, man. It's the era of small ball for us. But I'm just trying to figure out, like, what is it that these guys got to do to keep the gas on the, keep the pedal on the gas, man, because they just let up, and then before you know it, that 20 turns into a 10 lead, and then to a 3-point deficit, and oh my God, everyone's losing their mind. But they pulled it out, God bless them, and I'm looking for that, the win watch for Pop, because I'm looking for that one win, baby, where he takes all-time win records, and that's when we're all going to party in San Antonio. Go Spurs, go.
Gosh, Chris, I love that phone call, man. You totally rock. Maybe because his name is Chris. I don't know. That was a tremendous phone call. But, Chris, you make a great point. Spurs had a 26-point lead, and it vanished. It went away, and the Celtics, were up 86-81 late in the fourth quarter before Spurs went on that crazy run at the end. So hopefully they learn from this. Hopefully it feels good to close. It feels good to go on a 15-0 run and beat a darn good team in the Boston Celtics. And maybe they'll build on this, and the ball will start rolling now, and they'll learn to close better. Let's bring in Michael Bartlett. Michael, bottom of the hour. By the way, it's Spurs Radio 1200 WOAI. You're listening to the 50,000-watt blowtorch right now. Michael, you and I both feel a lot better after a Spurs victory. Talk about what you saw tonight on that basketball court.
It was what assistant coach Mitch Johnson was talking about in postgame with Bill, and what Bryn Forbes talked about in pregame. There's when they went up by 35 in Boston, and then Jason Tatum went off for 60, and we wound up losing that game. I started getting flashbacks of that, and I was like, oh no, not again. This was a very tremendous win. They get up big in the first quarter. They start out hot, and then the Boston Celtics, being a good veteran team and a good team, chip away. And we saw what the Spurs, we saw them be able to not just, okay, we've lost the lead, and we didn't see them quit. We didn't see them falter. They didn't stop playing. They didn't make mistakes towards the end of the game. They made every possession matter. They got stops for Spurs fans that like to troll and say, well, this team doesn't play defense. They just held the Boston Celtics to 37% from the field. That's pretty darn good defense. Jason Tatum was 9 of 23. He had a horrendous night shooting. He, being the all-star that he is, he got going in the fourth quarter just like DeJounte did. But it was a game they needed. They needed this game, obviously, because they don't, you don't want to lose, clearly. But the way that they had been losing, it was, not being able to figure out how to win these close games. And granted, the Atlanta game got out of hand. It was a good team win. Some of them are unfortunately, some of them are going to be like this. We're going to get up, we're going to get down, but like Bryn Forbes said, there's no quitting this team. There's no woe is me. Nobody's holding their head down. You saw the emotion from Keldon Johnson after that huge dunk in the fourth quarter when, Keldon being the Keldon that he is, after he makes a dunk, he decides to scream at the top of his lungs and blow everybody's eardrums out. The fight in this team is there. It's just as we talked about, and as Mitch Johnson talked about, being able to find that way to win, find that closer. And I think we can go ahead and put to rest, DeJounte Murray is clearly the leader of this team. There's been a lot of people that say, well, the Spurs don't have a clear leader. DeJounte Murray is the head of the snake, as Pop would call him. He's the leader of this team. And right now, he is the closer of this team. 13 points in the fourth quarter. Him and Derek, Derek got off fast and then kind of tapered out towards the end of the game. But his 4 free throws at the end of the game, but that's a big deal because the Spurs right now have not been shooting great from free throw. They're towards the bottom of the league. So it was a gritty win, a win that definitely they deserved. And hopefully this will, tackle on more, because it definitely feels a lot better to win than it is to lose.
That is Michael Bartlett, and I echo a lot of what he said. And let's find out if the Spurs can put together back-to-back wins. Might this have been a turning point for this young Spurs team? Might this be a coming-of-age night, not only for the entire squad, but DeJounte Murray, just with the exclamation point, as Michael just said. DeJounte is the leader of this team, and from what he did tonight, maybe at closing time now, it's time for the Spurs to put that ball in DeJounte Murray's hands and let him do the magic that he did tonight. Spurs closed the game on a 15-0 run. They had a huge lead on the Celtics. Celtics came back to take a big, not a big lead, a significant lead, 86-81 late in the fourth quarter. And then the Spurs just go on the run to close things out. Spurs beat the Boston Celtics tonight at the AT&T Center, 96-88. They snap a 6-game losing streak. For the great Bill Schoening, another masterful call tonight from the AT&T Center in his 21st year as the radio voice of the San Antonio Spurs. On-site engineer Sam Walters, always outstanding, son of Dan Walters, so that's why he's got the DNA. Veteran statistician Walter Stoops, and the man you just heard, the Mr. Rogers of Sports Talk Radio. It's always a beautiful day in his neighborhood, Michael Bartlett. For those gentlemen, I'm Chris Duel. Spurs win. Let's go get 2 in a row. Next game will be Monday night against the Washington Wizards, 7:30 tip. That means a Spurs radio game night with the voice of the San Antonio Spurs, Bill Schoening, 7 o'clock on Monday night. For those gentlemen, once again, the final score, Spurs 96, Boston Celtics 88. You've been listening to Spurs React on Spurs Radio 1200 WOAI. Yes! Spurs win!
Locally owned
Spurs win!
Spurs
win!
Knows how to treat Texans right. We use our exclusive right.
See y'all later. See you guys on Monday. Adios. Go Spurs, go.